Hey there, everybody. This is Isaac Garcia from MoeGo. Happy you're joining us today. I'm going to be walking you through some features of this excellent platform for both mobile dog groomers and for salons. So if you have a storefront where people come to you, you don't go to them, it's also a great fit for those environments. I'm going to be showing you some of the features targeted for salons. I've done another video showing some of the mobile features, but we'll mostly be looking at the desktop features here. Honestly, if you're a dog grooming shop, whether a physical building or a mobile grooming stand, I wholeheartedly recommend MoeGo. It's a great product. Give it a try. Try that paid version. And I think you'll see as we go through the features here, there's a lot of great features that'll help your business save money and manage your clients very effectively. All right, so let's go look at our screen here. This is the MoeGo home screen. Just want to comment, if you ever have any questions or have any problems with MoeGo, you've got the option down here, bottom corner. You can get a hold of MoeGo Lily, send a new conversation there, or search our help articles. Great way to get help in any questions you might have. But we're going to assume we don't have questions. We're just going to log in and get started here. So I'm going to log in with my demo account. And where we land is the Salon version. So this is what we look at if we're a salon. You can switch up here to the mobile view or switch back to the Salon, whichever one you're using. There's also a really great iOS app, Android app, and we might look at a couple of those here in a second. Let me just say for a salon, if you're trying to figure out how do we want to set this up? There's a lot of ways to do it. One, empower your groomers to be able to manage these appointments and contacts with people, and I'll show you more of that soon. Or if you have a front office or back office manager, they can manage this view themselves. And the great part is any changes made in one place are going to reflect in others. So if you've got someone in the front making changes, someone in the back making changes, if you're looking at it, updating things from wherever you are, it's all going to sync into one place. So it's a great way to coordinate a team of groomers and admin if you have so many people. All right, so this is our first view. It's the appointment view, the calendar page. You've got on the left here your overall calendar, right? Basic, kind of works like Outlook or any other calendar app you might have. I'll come back to this pop-up view button here in a second. You got some really quick stats, show you kind of your total appointments, total dogs, what's happening this week, this month, or even for the year. You can see your earned revenue and even your expected revenue. So pretty handy little quick stats there. Over here on the calendar side, you can step through the weeks, forward and back buttons. We're looking at the week view right now. If you do advance forward, you want to get back to today, you can just hit the today button. And I'm going to go to the 11th because that's next week. We got a lot of action there. There's also the month view. You can kind of step back and look at a big picture month view if you want to. Now, here's the thing. If you're a shop that has multiple groomers, you can see here I've got Isaac Garcia, Tyler Baxter, Linda Leventree. Those are three groomers who can take dogs. But if I want to just see one of them, right, I can zoom into Isaac Garcia. I just want to see what he's got each day. So your groomers would look at these views just for themselves, what they have coming up. But if you as an administrator or a back office person want to see everybody, then you can hit all groomers up here in the top right, and that allows you to see all the activity for your salon on a given day. All right, so this is the calendar view. What can we do from here? My goodness. The best part of this is you've got a great drag and drop interface. You can see your appointments here, kind of what's coming up. You can see the ones that are checked in, if they're finished, if they're unconfirmed. I'll talk about all those pieces here in just a second. But let's just say we've got a scenario where you want to create a new appointment. So we have this opening for Tyler right here. There's no blocks. By the way, you can create these blocks if someone's going to be gone for lunch or has some kind of thing that they can't be available for. So let's say we wanted to create an appointment right here for Tyler. He's got some time. We'd like to fill it in. Click there. We can simply say we want to add an appointment. So someone walks in, somebody calls in, and you want to create an appointment for them. So this comes up. You can do a search for the name. Let's just hit a G. Yep, we've got someone with name starts with a G, Glinda there. So we're going to pick her. Up comes her address. Looking for pets. We got Rex, German Shepherd. What kind of service does he want? I'll show you later how this is all customizable. But for now, we're just going to pick one. I can change the estimated time it's going to take or the default cost, but I'm going to leave those the same. Here's where you'd pick the groomer. We've already picked Tyler because that's the column we created this on. Time and date look good. It's not going to be a repeating appointment. You can use color codes if your system has, we color all dogs of this type with this code, or we really try to put groomer colors on there, or whatever usage you can find for that. I know several different systems that groomers use colors for. So let's say this one's a lime green, one type of event from another. So we're going to go and save this event, and it says, hey, new appointment created. Do you want to send an update message? I'm going to say no to all these until later. I'd like to show you the messaging feature, but for now I'm going to say no to all these updates. What would normally happen is I would say yes, and a message would go out to the client saying, hey, Glinda, your appointment has been created. Would you like to confirm this appointment, yes or no? But I'm not going to send those because we're using some dummy data up here for our phone numbers. So there you see Glinda's appointment created right there. And so just like that, I've added an appointment to Tyler's. And let's just say that going through the day and something comes up, Glinda calls and says, man, I can't come in at 11:30. I got delayed. I can only come in later. Well, the person managing the calendar can say, okay, well, if you want to stay with Tyler, we've got a 2:30 available for Tyler. Or if you need a bit earlier, we actually can get you in at 1 here with Linda. And so Glinda says, man, 1 sounds great. That's what I need. Well, it's super easy. I can click and drag the appointment from here, drag it down to Linda, let it go. Do we want to update? Yes, we do. And do we want to send a message or not? I'm going to say no, but normally you would say yes in that situation. So a message would have gone to Glinda, and boom, she has her new time. So we see it's unconfirmed. If we're talking to her on the phone, we can say, well, we'll see you at 1. We can actually mark it as confirmed ourselves. Also, if she were to get the text message, she could reply with a yes, I'm confirming that meeting, and that would switch to confirmed as well. So there's Linda, now confirmed for the afternoon. That was easy. And hopefully we can find something else for Tyler here so we don't have any time lost for him. Also, you can change the time duration. So this Tony Tim here, he's got 2 dogs. Let's just say that, we start doing the work. Tyler says, man, these dogs, this is going to be a big one. We're going to need some extra time for this. Well, I can just create the extra time just by dragging. So I'm going to drag the appointment, make it a bit longer, and confirm the update. So really easy drag and drop. You can expand appointments. Very simple way of managing it. And here in the calendar view for an admin, it just makes a lot of sense to understand how to move appointments, move things earlier, move things later, and you can see how it all fits together very simply. So that's really nice. I will go back over here to this pop-up view earlier. I said I'd come back to it. If I click pop-up view, when I hover over each of these appointments, I now get this pop-up with all the details in it. And that can be really handy if that's what you're looking for. Really depends on your setup and what you're trying to do with it. So I love that you can turn it on or off. Basically up to you whether you want to see that or not. And again, you can click on these to see the whole appointment information. All right, so that's very handy. Okay, so let's move on from the calendar view and actually talk about what happens with our process. So somebody comes in the door and they're ready to get their dog done. We'll go back here to Glinda. They're ready to get their dog serviced, I should say. So they come in, what happens? Well, we open up the appointment and we say, hey, we want to check this dog in. So we're going to check the dog in. That means work is being done. Now, if they get checked in, maybe the mobile app in the back, maybe the person at the front desk checks them in, it gets switched to checked in. So you can see the status of these. So if I was an admin and I was watching these, I would want to see, hey, are all the dogs checked in? It's 1:15. Make sure they're all checked in and the work is going forward. So then you'd groom the dog or do whatever services you have arranged for the dog. When they're done, you open up their ticket and you're going to check them out. So it says, all right, they were here for full service for a large dog. That's $140. Do we want to give them a discount by dollar percentage? And then are they leaving a tip? Again, by dollar percentage. So let's say they throw in a $10 tip, brings their total to $150. They have lots of methods they can pay with. They can pay with cash, check, card, a card on file. We can actually save a credit card on file for these, and I'll talk a little more about that later, but you can basically process credit cards with Stripe. Fantastic service offered if you want to keep it simple for your customers. Let's just say they paid with cash though. So we're going to go ahead and hit paid with cash. Boom. So now we're done. So a couple things I can do still is I can ask them to review. That's a review booster feature, and I'll talk about that more later, essentially getting feedback on how the appointment went. But for now, I want to look at this invoice side. Shows me what happened, service, time it started, kind of the details for everything. The tip here, $10. The total is 150. So what I can do is I can hit the email button, email this invoice directly to the client, and that way they can have a copy of it themselves. Very simply done. Just hit that button and off it goes. So one other thing that I want to point out here, we do have the ability to change appointments and make them recurring. So you see this Dora Delaney down here. It's a recurring appointment. I'm going to create a new appointment. Let's do one for myself here on the 12th. So let's add a new appointment. Pick somebody. Timmy Tester sounds good. Pick the pet. Pick the service. And I'm going to say repeat. So now I have the option, how often does this repeat? And I can pick different types by the week or by a certain number of days. So let's say every week. Yeah, every week. It repeats on a Tuesday, starting here, and we're going to do 5 sessions. So I can preview the repeat dates right here. Here's where the dates would be. Does the calculation out. And then when I like it, if it works with a customer, they can say, yeah, those dates work. I can simply add them. All right, so here's my new appointment. You can see it's a repeating appointment based on the little circle here. And if I were to go forward to future weeks, I would see it there. And then the next week, I would see it again. And if I went forward another week, I would see it again. So it's really handy to create a whole bunch of repeat appointments if you're using repetition with your clients, which I hope that you are. It's a great way to manage recurring business. So let's say though, what happens if a change needs to be made? So Pongo here can't come in on Tuesday, needs to come in on Wednesday for whatever reason. Well, as a person managing the schedule, let me fast forward here a little bit. I can see that Tyler's out on Wednesday, but hey, Linda has a wide open day. So I'm going to grab this appointment for Tuesday and move it over to same time, but Wednesday for Linda. So let it go. Great question here. Do you want to update just this one or this and all the upcoming appointments? So imagine if at the beginning of the week I'd set up this recurrence for the entire year. So if it was every week, there'd be 52 of them, or half of that if it was every 2 weeks, or 12 if it was monthly. And what I can do is update all of them if this was the case where Timmy said, look, that time doesn't work for me. I can't do Tuesdays anymore. I can only do Wednesdays. Well, then I'd update all the recurrences. And instead of having to go forward and update them one by one, I'd be able to update them in bulk in one big push. Very easy. In this situation, Timmy calls up and says, look, this week that time doesn't work for me. The rest of the appointments are fine, but this week that doesn't work for me. So I'm just going to update that one. Really handy, allows me to say, sure, just update that one. But if we still go forward, we will see that all the future ones are still where they were before on Tuesday. So exactly what we wanted there. So it's really handy. So you can manage the business operations very simply. Check in, check out. You can tweak your appointments, make them recurring, edit the time or the price, how long they take or how much they get charged. You can color code them. You have the ability to email invoices and track different payment methods inside of them. So if I open up this ticket, I can see here that it was paid. And I can look at the invoice as we go forward. So it's very easy. If I want to go back and look at my history, I can. And we also have that in some reports, which I'll cover here in just a bit. Okay, so let's talk about messages real quick. And there's 2 parts of messages that I want us to look at. One is the auto message feature, which we'll look at when we get into settings here in a second. But I just want to look at the ability right now for us to have a conversation with our users. So I'm going to bring up a screen from my computer here, and this is my phone on the screen, and this is basically a conversation I'm having with my Salon. So let me hide that for a second. And so here is this message sender window that you can open up, and you can actually send messages to your clients. So here's one. Hey Frank, we are looking forward to seeing your pet, right? So imagine if your groomer or your
MoeGo.
business person, your admin, somebody sent this message. Well, so look what happens. So as a text message, I receive a text on my phone. Hey, cool. I got a message from my ATC Salon. So as a client, I'm going to text back, thanks, because I really love my groomer. When is my next appointment? Right? So they can ask that. Boom. So what happens? So this message comes in.
MoeGo.
Hide this. This message comes in to our view here. Oh, I switched to mobile. I'm going to switch back to Salon. This message comes into our view right here. So we're having a conversation, a back and forth. Now, why is this better than the owner or one of the groomers texting this client? Let's say one of your groomers is texting him, and then all of a sudden you get an urgent text coming in, or maybe that groomer leaves for the day or is on holiday or is released for some reason. What was the last conversation we had with Frank? Well, you have the whole history right here. I can go back and read what's been happening. When's it been happening? What are our updates? So, this is the history of a conversation that's had by the business with the client. And so by keeping it all in one place, first of all, multiple people can represent your salon to the client, which enables you to have faster communication, better history tracking. You can have continuity. You don't have to have the client, well, I told so and so, how do you not know about it? Any information that the client gives is available to anybody who has access to the message center screen. So that's fantastic. You can keep your conversation all in one place. When it gets to auto messaging, so there's a number of messages that are sent automatically, and I'll come back here and hit it more in detail. But when a new appointment is booked, an appointment is rescheduled, canceled, an unconfirmed appointment reminder, pet birthday reminder, all of these trigger messages that go to the client's phone as a text message. And if they reply to those, they come back here to the message center. So let me scroll back up here. I saw previously we had a, hey, your appointment is booked for this time. We'll see you then. These messages are customizable and you're able to send them back and forth with your client. And everybody, again, who has access to this can see those messages and be a part of the conversation. It's a really great way to stay in tune with one another and sending a synchronized message. So you can also send pictures. So if you've got a quick snap of the dog being groomed or a before and after picture, perhaps, you can send those as well. Again, that synchronizes with the entire system. So sending pictures back and forth, it's a great way to say, hey, here's your pet. Look at how happy he is. He's ready to be picked up. Come and get him. And this is such a wonderful way to stay in contact with your clients. So speaking of clients, let's take a look at our client section. So this is all of our active clients, and you can see everybody that's in your system here. You can look at their total sales, quickly see their contact information, last service, any upcoming service. When's their expected service? Are they maybe behind? This right here is going to help you remember to look for people that need to be booked. We haven't seen them in a while. Up here at the top, you have some great filters. First of all, you can look at active clients. We have tags on filters. We can search by tags. I can look for lapsed clients or maybe inactive clients. So if I'm looking for people, man, I really want to get them re-engaged. These are all my lapsed clients. I haven't seen them in a long time. You can look those up. You can add new clients right here or export clients. And I love this. If you're doing a search to try to find a certain client, you can look by name, address, phone number, or their pet. So if you know the pet name, let's say it's Sparky, I can do a search for Sparky. If I spelled Sparky right, and we can find the one with the dog name, Sparky. So that is a really simple way to find and manage your clients. So what is a client here in MoeGo? What are we managing? So let's open up Trevor here. What we're managing is, of course, client information. So first name, last name, phone number, email, address. You can put a picture in the profile if you have a picture of that client so you can know what they look like. You can create an appointment for them, contact them, make any changes here. If they have any additional contacts, maybe a spouse or a child that they want you to contact, you can add those as well. You can look at the upcoming appointments for this client. What do they have coming up? What's the cost going to be? You can look at their service history, any private notes about that client that the customer's not going to see. Digital agreement, if it's been signed, I'll cover digital agreements a little bit more in the future. Image agreement, again, we'll cover that a bit more in the future, but that's an agreement saying um, for you, if you want to say you can take pictures of the dog and use those images. Then we have preferences, right? So is this person getting auto messages? Maybe you have someone who really doesn't like getting those text messages. You can just turn them off. Most people would like getting them because it helps them remember when their appointments are. Do they get automatic emails? Their unconfirmed reminder, is that something that's automatically sent by a message? Or is that something that you should call them? Maybe some people, again, don't like getting those text messages. This is just a way that you can call them instead of automatically sending a message. What's their preferred frequency? How often do you want to see their dog and or cat, if that's the case? Do they have a preferred groomer? Maybe there's somebody they say I'd prefer it if they would work on it. Their actual frequency based on their history. By default, the client preferred frequency is 30 days, and you can change that. Lastly, are they active? Do they have any tags? Maybe different parts of the city. However you would like to tag and split your client list apart. And then if they have any saved payment cards. So if they use a credit card to pay, you can save it here. And that way, when it's time to check out, you can just say, hey, reuse the card you have on account for them. So a great way of tracking all the human side of things. You also have the pets, of course. What's the point of tracking just the owner? We want to track the pets. So every owner has pets. So for this one, they have two, Brody and Peggy. So we click on Brody. You can put pictures into these. What you're mainly tracking is pet name and breed, but you can also track information like the birthday, the gender, hair length, weight, behavior, fixed or not, vaccinated. And if a dog has passed away, you can track that. So you can remember, oh, this client had three dogs that passed away and their names were, we used to groom them. So I want to, make sure to be respectful of that, remembering the history of not only the client, but their pets as well. So any comments that go with a pet. So maybe you've discovered something particular about a certain breed or a certain pet. You can manage those comments here. So I can look at Peggy, I can look at Brody, and I can put in pictures for both of those if I have them. I can add new pets or go back to the owner. So that's the client look, the client view, I should say. That's how you can manage them. Let's go over and look at reports real quick. One more tab up here on the top. So this is where you can see how is your business doing. These are your snapshot views. I can look at sales by month, week, services, sales by employee, any unclosed appointments, things that I need to look into, errors that maybe need to be taken care of. I can do an employee full report. I've got some great graphs. I can change the time when these apply to, right? So you can do whatever dates you want. You can export the detail. If you want to dig into the data, you can spit this out. If you want to print out a report, you can do that as well. So several really good reports here. Appointment overviews. You can compare to last period. View by appointment status, view appointment by appointment employee. Just really great ways to slice and dice your data, help you understand how effective you're being with your company and ways that you can find to improve. So really great data, all available in the reports tab. It's super helpful. So as you're doing your business, you get to get in and see how you're doing based on previous numbers or based on your expectations. This is what I wanted to do, and why is it not happening? So that's your report tab. All right, last thing we're going to look at here, and we're going to spend a good bit of time demoing and going through all the features available in the settings tab right up here. We got the gear. So we're going to start at the top. When you create your account, you've got, of course, high-level information. Now, if you're the owner and you're not a groomer, you can turn off show on calendar. That means you won't show up as one of the groomers who can be booked on the calendar. But for me, I'm an owner slash groomer, so I would go ahead and show myself on the calendar. You can put your info in there. Some information about your business, name, phone number, address, website. This is all helpful in setting up how the tool works, any days that you're closed, kind of when you start and stop. So you set this all up at the beginning. Services. So services are what you offer to your clients. Now, this is the default. Whenever you create a new service instance, what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, normally a full service large takes 90 minutes, but if you know that a particular dog takes 120 minutes, you can tweak that in the actual ticket itself. You can also tweak the price. So let's just say full service large is normally 140, but for this person, their family, or their somebody I owe a favor to, or they're my next door neighbor, and so I'm going to give it to them for $100. Or maybe I don't like this dog very much. It's really hard to manage. Okay, this dog's going to be 160. You can change that in the ticket. So what we're setting up here is really our default kind of what we expect the baseline to be for each of these services. So fully customizable, you can put in whatever services fit your salon. So service name, how long do you expect it to take? What's your normal price for it? What category does it fall in? And you can manage all these categories here. Tax bracket if you want to apply taxes to it, and you can even put in detail explaining a little more what that's about. So here's all the services we have set up here. You can also manage your add-ons. So if you have things that you can add to a service, so here it's extra care, nail painting, things like that, you can set all of these add-ons up that you can add on for additional prices. So if you have special things that you do, you can add those in as well. So then look at the staff tab. This is how you create really your organization, right? You've got more than one groomer you want to manage. When you turn these people on to show on the calendar, that's where we know that we can assign work to them. So let's say I was going to add another new employee, but I wanted them just to be a back office admin. They weren't a groomer, they're a back office admin. I would simply say, don't show them on the calendar, and they'd be able to log in. But if I gave them administrator privileges, they could run the tool without actually being a space for dogs to be assigned to be groomed. So different permission levels here, and these are really simple. You just look at the little helper here. It tells you what permissions are available. So if you got somebody that you want to make just a groomer or a groomer pro or an admin, you can change that here. You also put in the hours for each person. So for example, this one here, Tyler, is not available Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday, but he is available when we're open on Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. So that makes a difference when you're looking at the appointment calendar. You can see if someone's blocked off. So let's go back to appointments real quick and just look at Tyler. So if we look at Tuesday and Wednesday, we see Tyler's grayed out for Wednesday because we set him to be not in the office on Wednesday. So we're not going to see any opportunities to book him there. All right, so we're back at the staff tab. You can also keep notes, and if someone becomes inactive, you can just turn them off and make them an inactive staff. So this is how you manage all your staff people. So you manage yourself in account, and you manage your people in the staff tab. They're all managed right here. All right, let's talk about payment real quick. So this is the opportunity for you to set up a bank account for payouts. So MoeGo integrates with Stripe for credit card processing. And the wonderful thing about this is Stripe has a credit card processing fee, but no matter who you use, whether you use Square or whatever, you're always going to pay a base credit card processing fee. And so Stripe passes that on, so it'll take out, I think it's somewhere in the vicinity of 3-ish% of the sale, and you'd have to go to stripe.com and look at their processing fee. That's for anybody who uses a credit card, and that's in every service. What MoeGo does that's awesome is they do not charge an extra amount for using credit cards in the tool. They don't actually add on a portion themselves. Honestly, all you're going to pay is the Stripe fees, which you're going to pay at a minimum those anywhere else. If you're using PayPal invoicing or Square or any of the other processing tools, you're not only going to pay the processing fee, but normally you can pay additional on top of that. MoeGo doesn't add anything. All you're going to be paying is a Stripe processing fees. So what you do is set up a linked account here that would tie into your Stripe credit card processing. Easy to set up, and you can take credit cards through the tool. Now the first deposit will take 7 days to get to you, but fear not, that's just the first one. Normally what happens is after that, after the first one, it will take 2 days for a credit card swipe or processing through the tool to actually get to you into your bank account. So 2 days for that, and the only fee you're going to pay is the Stripe fee. So that's a pretty good setup. So you would set all that up here with your linked account. You would actually put in your information, your bank account, so that it could process the Stripe transaction. So we're going to go a bit deeper into auto messages now. So auto messages are just what they sound like. They're automatically sent out whenever one of these actions takes place. So a new appointment is booked. So someone calls in and books a new appointment. What's going to happen is this text messages is going to go out immediately to that client. So you get to edit all these messages. This would say from whatever your store name is, hey, customer name, your appointment is booked for a date and a time. And from your friends, it's going to put that in there. You can change all this text from your friends at, right? If we want to say from your friends at, and then down here we have all of the wildcards that you can put in. So from your friends at store name, you can even say, hey, we love, and put in pet's name. So you can put in the pet's name there. So you can modify these messages to fit your needs, help you communicate effectively with your people. So they're all editable. Appointment is rescheduled, so if a change is made, it'll send a message. Hey, from this place to the customer, your appointment is rescheduled. You can change this to be whatever text you want. You can put in the original appointment time, day of the week, appointment time. If your appointment's canceled, you send one of those. This one is fantastic. So let's say you create an appointment for somebody in 3 months. Time comes and it's almost time for that appointment. In fact, it's 2 days out, anywhere from 1 to 7 days. Let's say 2 days. 2 days out, the system will send a text message to that person, which you can customize, but the default message says, hey, customer name, your next appointment is coming at date and time. Reply yes or Y to confirm, and reply in or no to cancel. So what you're doing is 2 days out, without you having to remember, without you having to schedule time for it, you simply say 2 days out before the appointment, if it's not confirmed at 8 o'clock or you pick the time, I want you to send them a text message and try to confirm them. Why is this important? Because it allows you to lower your instances of no-shows. So instead of saying, man, they didn't show up because maybe they forgot, maybe something came up, what it's doing is getting you in the habit of staying in constant contact with your clients at particular times that are relevant to their upcoming appointments. So it's really great because if they forgot, they can say, oh, I need to move stuff around. They can reply back to the text and say, oh, can you reschedule me? Or they can just send back a Y and say, yep, confirmed, I'll be there. All that conversation comes back into the message center here. So your admin staff, your groomers, you yourself as the owner, you can all manage that conversation. So the person shoots back, oh, I forgot that was in 2 days. You can check the schedule and say, well, hey, we can do it in 3 days or 4 days. Does 2 o'clock on Friday work for you? And really stay in contact and try to book that person effectively in the appointment. So you make sure you don't get as many no-shows. One of the great things too is if the client's set to they don't want to get notified by text message, you can say, give me a call reminder. It'll give you a reminder to call that person so that if they are not text savvy, you can call them and confirm their appointment that way, manually confirming it. So then we also have pet birthday reminder, just another way to stay connected and say, hey, happy birthday to your pet. We want to remember it, and we just are really appreciative of you. So a way to stay in contact once a year. This is great for lapsed clients. If somebody hasn't come in a long time, you just say, hey, happy birthday to your pet. A lot of times triggers in their minds, oh, hey, I need to schedule a grooming. I haven't been groomed in a while. We like these groomers. We want to go back to them. Send ETA is really a feature for our mobile groomers. So if you have a mobile salon and you're going house to house, you're on your way there from our mobile app, you can say, hey, tell them I'm on my way and I'll be there very shortly. So that's what the ETA portion is. So those are our auto messages. You can turn them all on and off. So if you don't like one or if one isn't working for you, for your workflow, you can turn it off. You can customize the text. You're going to create appointments, send out messages. That all happens automatically. So again, very customizable. You want to set it up in a way that works for you so that you can get the most out of your relationship with your clients. Okay, let's talk about Review Booster. Review Booster is a way for you to be able to understand how you're providing service to your clients. Now, this is really helpful if you're the groomer. If you're not the groomer, if you're an owner and you just operate in the back office, maybe you don't have direct contact with your clients, this is super helpful. So, what happens is a client finishes their appointment and you have the option of sending them a request for review. So it goes out to their text message. How would you rate our service? Scale of 1 to 5. What number would you use to rate it? You can edit this yourself. You can customize it. But you send out that message. How are you going to rate us? Let's actually look at that. I'm going to create a new tab here. I want to show you what this looks like. So let's go to our friend Frank. Frank is here, right here. Oh, that appointment's paid. We're going to give Frank another appointment. He has to come in again. So let's grab Frank. Creating an appointment for Frank. We got his pet, a lady. We'll go full service. Going to Tyler. Great. So we'll go ahead and send a message. That's fine. All right, Frank. So Frank's going to come in. We're going to check him in, do the work, check him out. He pays by cash. We take payment. Fantastic. This button shows up now, Ask for Review. It's a one button push. I can press Ask for Review, and it simply sends Review Sent. So what does that look like? Let's take a look at our device here. They get this text message. How would you rate our service? 1 to 5. If he's thrilled, so he's going to send a 5 back. If he's thrilled, what happens is he gets a response from the system. We've set this up. Hey, we're so happy that you liked our service. Why don't you rate us? So you're getting your very positive reviews and you're sending them to your Yelp, your Google page, your Facebook page, asking them to put something out there for how positive the experience was. What if the opposite is true? What if they have an experience where they're not so happy? By the way, here in the message center, there's the message. How would you rate our service? There's their response. And here's what we sent them automatically. That's the auto message that went out. Let's talk about the other side. Let's just say that the review message goes out and they got not positive feedback. So you can define what that means. Positive is 3 above, 4 and above, or 5s. It's up to you what level you want to set that at. But if you get negative feedback, this is important. If someone isn't happy with your service, you want to fix it as soon as possible, especially if you weren't there when they maybe had a bad experience. So you're the owner, your groomer made a mistake, you didn't hear about it, but you send this out and all of a sudden your client says, I'm not happy. I'd give you a 1. Oh no. So that's where you get this automatic message. We're sorry, you're not 100% happy. And then you would want to engage with them and say, what can we do to make this right? And so that's where this is saying, what can we do? So you start that conversation, the back and forth. How can we fix this? How can we make it right? And you don't lose that client because you've invested in them. You ask their opinion and now you're actioning it to make it right. So Review Booster is great, helps you raise your status online, but it also allows you to take care of any problems before they blow up and potentially cost you a client. So use Review Booster. It is very helpful, very simple to send. It's not hard, and it's a great way to boost your online presence. You can customize where you send people to. If they like their positive feedback, send them to your Yelp, Facebook, and Google. And if they give you negative feedback, send them a great message that starts the conversation. We want to make this right so that you don't lose them. All right, let's talk about digital agreements. So a digital agreement is just that. It is a way of saying we want you to agree to how we're going to work with each other. So you can define this. There's a default. You can find agreements online, but you put in what matters to you and your business. So we save that. You can edit this, right? That works for you. And then your clients need to agree to it. So how does that happen? So let's go over here to clients and pick a client, Ethan here. Let's see if he's agreed already. He is not. So Ethan hasn't agreed to our digital agreement, so I need to send it to him. So we just created an account for Ethan. We want to send him the agreement. We hit send, and here it goes to send him a message. And all these send fails are because his phone number is not really a real number. But this is what it would send him. Hey, go here to sign this agreement. I want to show you what that looks like, so I'm going to copy this. So I'd hit send, boom, off it would go. Just like that,
MoeGo.
we sent our digital agreement. They'd open it up on their phone or at home on their computer. And what they'd get is, here's the agreement. Title, text that you put out. They look down it. Do they agree? Yes, they agree. Okay, if they agree, then they put in their signature. And I'll just make a, this is, oh man, I don't, it's about as easy signing with a mouse as it is signing with your finger on one of those little tablet pads. So we're going to hit submit, and this is the signature. So now, boom, that person has signed it. Why does that matter? Let's say something happens and Ethan is not happy. So Ethan, for some reason, has a reason not to be happy, and you can say, well, you actually agreed to that in our grooming agreement. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. So you have it right here. When it was signed, open it up. You can see the agreement. Let me scroll down a bit. You can see the agreement. If you scroll to the bottom, boom, there's your signature. You saw this, you signed it, and so you agreed. My hope is that none of you ever have to make a hard point on a agreement like this. My hope is that you and your clients work together and are happy all the time. But as many of us know, that's not always the case. Sometimes things happen, and having an agreement is a way to make sure that you and your clients know what to expect from your relationship. You don't want any surprises that make people unhappy with one another. So we want to send it that way, and then we know that that client has the agreement, and we make sure that you're always working with people who have actually met and signed that agreement. All right, this is a really cool feature, booking online. So say you have a website and you want to allow people to book online. The customization here is pretty awesome. So you can turn it on or off, but if we want to enable it, you turn it on. Online booking description, you can put in a really great description here. Let's just put in, this is my online page. I would expect you to describe your business far better than I just did. So new client application required, right? So a new client will have to fill out a form. You can turn that on if you want to, and I'm going to turn it off for simplicity here. Address required. Do they have to provide it? Not really in this case. If you were a mobile salon that went to them, you'd have to have an address or you wouldn't know where to go. But if they're bringing the dogs to you, you might not need the address for each of these new people. So what do you make available online? So let's look at our service list. Here's what we created earlier, and you can make it available for online booking with just a click, and you can show the basic price. So let's just say I want to make these two available, but I only want to show the price here of this one. You know, you'd use price anchoring to make sure you don't blow people away with your prices. I'm going to turn these on here for the add-ons. Let's take special shampoo. I'm not going to show that on our website for whatever reason. So you've got all these. We have set that up. That's our service list. What about our available staff? Who can take appointments from online? Well, we can say on or off for each one. Isaac, Tyler, maybe not Linda. You can set this up to who gets appointments online. I'll leave Linda on there. So you can set that up however you want. What is the soonest availability? So let's just say you need a 24-hour turnaround. You don't want to get somebody online who says, I'm coming in today, 2 hours. You can set this to what you need. 2 days out, 3 days out, next day. If you have someone who's in the office monitoring your MoeGo instance throughout the day, you could probably say same day. And if somebody has an opening on a day, they can jump right in and you can get a client without even having to reach out. They just come to your website and book themselves in. And then, of course, is the agreement required? Do they have to sign the agreement to get on and work with you there? So what you can do now, we can preview our booking site, which we're going to do. But how do you get this out there? So if you've got a Wix website or if you manage your own website, you can either embed the link, right? We can copy the link, you can embed that, or you can just put a button on your site, click here to book online now. and so it'll direct people to this. So we're going to look at our online site. Got your picture, you got the name of your business, website, phone number. If you have some pictures, they can view the gallery. Here's that description I put in. This is my online page. Again, I hope you're more creative than I am. We're going to go ahead and create a new client here. You could have an existing client come in. So this new client has a pet. The pet's name is, I don't know, Grouch. Let's do that. Pet's name is Grouch. And what type of dog? They can scroll through here. They can start typing if it's say a pug. Oh, we love pugs. There's a pug. They can look at any detail here. If they want to put in any special notes, or if it's fixed, vaccinated, any behavior, fear of clippers. Oh, that's not good. Or cage aggressive. They can put all these special notes in here. Any notes like that they can type in if anything isn't available here. So we save. So they put in all that information. Go to next. Here's our main services. Notice the ones that have prices are the ones that we identified. Man, I really like that price. That looks good to me. They can click on that. We go to our add-ons. I like extra care and some teeth cleaning. Add those in there. Go to next. So now we start talking when and where. So the 11th, got a couple of times there. But what if we want Tyler? Tyler has some different times. Or what if we want Linda? Linda has some different times. Why don't we look at Wednesday? Linda's wide open. Isaac has some times. Oh, look. Tyler's not available for Wednesday. Tyler was set to be off on Wednesday. He doesn't come in, so no appointments are available for him at that time. We'll go ahead and say Isaac's going to take him. Let's take him at 3 o'clock. Say next. Oh, now I got to put some info in about myself. I'm going to call it Info Man. We'll put some numbers in here and an email. My test at good old AOL.com. All right, so here's the information. Any final comments they want to put in, they can submit an appointment. And just like that, someone has come into your website and said, hey, I am interested in getting an appointment from you. So the request is sent, and they're going to get approval from the business. What does that mean? So I'm here as the manager, right? And so I'm watching the store, and I'm moving stuff around, and I'm making sure we all stay busy. Ooh, look what happened down here. Online booking request for Isaac on Wednesday the 13th, right? And so I'll see up here, I also have a red number 1, tells me something happened. Up here in online booking, I can see that red number 1, someone is interested in booking online. So I would open that up, take a look at it, and say, here's your booking request. Okay, so they're reserved for 24 hours. This block is only there for 24 hours, or to move to the waiting list. Here's the information. If I like it, that time works, everything looks good, I can just say schedule now. Boom, just like that. It'll be done. If it doesn't look good, I can pass it to the waiting list. Now, what's the waiting list? Someone who wants service, but hasn't yet been able to find a time that works for you to work with them. So, what am I going to do? Send them to the waiting list, and then when an opening appears, I'd want to reach out to them again in the message center, start sending chat back and forth. Hey, sorry we couldn't accommodate you on Wednesday. How does Thursday sound? Or maybe Friday. And that way you have a relationship and some conversation going with them. And then you can pull them from the waiting list and put them into an appointment when they're ready. And the best case scenario, the time they requested works for you. You simply hit schedule now. It brings up their information. So Info Man is getting Grouch to get these services. Groomer Isaac at that time. I can put in any colors I want. Hit save. And boom, just like that, online turns into an appointment. It's so simple. And you put this out on your website, you promote your website on your social media or side of your van or front of your building or run a commercial during the Super Bowl. People go to your website, they say, hey, I like what I see. I want to try this out. They can schedule an appointment right there through your website. That's all built in to MoeGo. Isn't that amazing? You don't have to be a webmaster to build that. All you have to do is have the ability to make this link visible. So if you're using Wix, or maybe you have some guy down the street managing your website for you, put that link out there and start getting clients from your website without you having to manage all the code, all the logic, all the server stuff. MoeGo will handle that for you. It's an amazing feature for a salon to have available. All right, so let's look at one more thing, the rebook reminder. So earlier when we looked at clients, we set up how often that client should be scheduled, every 30 days, every 2 weeks, every however long. And so what this does is it tracks for you clients who need to rebook in the next 7 days based on their preferences. So if it's 30 days and you're coming up on 30 days for that client, you can come here and see a reminder of all the people who need to rebook. Currently, I don't have any, but I do have this other category called lapsed clients. These are people who you haven't seen in a long time. And so you see here service frequency, 30 days. We are currently at 204 days. I'd say we're a bit behind where we want to be with Mr. Bob Barton. So I can either dismiss it if I know, hey, I'm not going to get Bob back. He left because he was mad about something. Or if I think, let's reach out to Bob. I can hit the little 3 dots right here. Fast forwards me over to the message center and writes a message. Hey, Bob, it's been this long since your dogs, Bully and Tommy, has received their last service. Do you want to book for a new appointment? Hit send. Boom. Just like that.
MoeGo.
Reached out to Bob. We'll see what he says. Hey, maybe he comes back and says, sure, let's get this thing booked. So that is super duper helpful looking at clients who need to be rebooked in the next 7 days or lapsed clients. Helps us reach out and get those people re-engaged so we don't lose them. It keeps our system of clients fresh and we don't lose track of somebody without having to think about, man, when was the last time we saw Alice? Now, remember in each of the clients, if I click on Alice, I can see her upcoming appointments and her service history. But really, should I have to go in here and do the math of like, well, how many days has it been and what's happening? No, I don't have to do that math. All I have to do is go here to the rebook reminder, look at lapsed clients or clients who need to rebook, and it gives me a list of people to reach out to so that I can rebook them and keep them engaged with me. So all of that to say, MoeGo is full of features. It is a very feature-rich tool. It can do a lot of things, and it does a lot of them very, very well. So again, I'll just say if you have any questions about MoeGo and you're just like, man, I just wonder how to do this or I don't know that, click down here in the little smiley button. You can reach out to MoeGo Lily, ask any question. You can look for any answers in their articles right there. It just really is a great way of having a conversation about, hey, tell me more about this feature or help me understand this. I strongly recommend that you go ahead and get started as either a salon or a mobile grooming location with the free version. I cannot believe so much of this is available for free from MoeGo, but it's a great offering. You want to see what it looks like. You can use all these features and do 50 appointments a month for free. All these check marks. That's a lot of features for free. You can test the tool out, see if you like it, see if it works for you, show it to the people who work with you, show it to your groomers, say, what do you guys think? If you find that you like it, you can jump into the beginner level, $39 a month. You get all these features. And if you want the rest of the features, two-way messaging, a review booster, you can just jump up to the next level, which is the Rising Star, $69 a month. If you think about it, this enables one person who's maybe a groomer to also be the administrative person. Or if you have an administrative person and several groomers, it makes their job way easier to manage all of this in one place. So for $70 a month, you can absolutely have a ton of great features that help you run and manage your salon in a very effective way. So again, this is Isaac Garcia. I'm going to be wrapping up here, but I just want to say again one more time, if you're interested in trying a paid service, start with free. Get a free account now. There's no reason not to. Use it, try it out. If you say, I want to try that next level, I am ready to pay for a monthly service, I want to turn on some of those features, use them in our workflow for a bit, use my code GROOM when you upgrade. And when you do that, you're going to get $5 off your first paid month. that's a fantastic start. It lowers that bar to test the tool, make sure it works for you. Once you get that $5 off, my confidence is in you're going to find it to be easy to use, effective, to meet the needs that you have for your either salon or your mobile grooming setup. So again, the website is mogo.pet, not mogo.com, mogo.pet. Check it out. Go in there, try the free version. You have nothing to lose. It's a great experience. Use the desktop, use the mobile version on your phone, on your iPad, on your Android tablet. It's a great experience. So, one last time, Isaac Garcia from MoeGo signing off.